Right now the time is 10:59 p.m. I'm downtown Bangor, Maine on the waterfront. This video is going to be extraordinarily different than all my other videos. Once people listen to this video, I'm sure you'll understand what my message is. Today I received some information, and I'm not going to go into detail, nor am I going to mention who or why. All I'm going to tell you is that my search for Ashley is over. She is safe. The baby is safe and healthy. It's only a matter of time before she and I will be together. How much time will ultimately depend on her and the system that she's in. You've all been extraordinarily patient with my numerous videos, venting my anger, my frustration, my hurts. A certain person mentioned to me that my videos have become very hurtful to several people. It was never my intention to hurt you or anyone else. All I wanted was to know that Ashley was 100% safe and that the baby is safe and developing normally. Now that I know exactly where she's at, my videos concerning the anger, the frustration, and the hurt must stop. To the person that I thought was hiding her, I sent you a message on Messenger explaining that. And on this video, I apologize. Please try to understand I was under the impression that you was hiding her. I did not know the circumstances nor the threat that was made against you. Now that I do know that, I owe you an apology, and I don't know if my apology is enough. Why did I come down to the waterfront to make this particular video? I want to explain something on here for everybody that I've never told before. Only Ashley knows the truth on this, and she knows that what I'm about to say is true. Shortly after she and I first met, and just a couple days after we actually started falling in love, I went into that direction, right directly under this light, across the waterfront itself, down on the dark side. I went down onto the bank of the water, which is about 1,000 feet from here. I sat down on the rocks, and I placed a 9mm in my mouth. And I cried for over an hour, because she and I, even though we had just fallen in love, had our first couples argument concerning a medical issue that I have. First Street, where she and I lived, is right straight ahead up over the hill past Dunkin' Donuts. About a 10-minute walk from here. When we first had the argument, she chased me outside and tried to hang on to me and hold me. I was so hurt and angry, but not at her, but nonetheless I was hurt and angry, that I pulled away from her, and when I did, she fell down onto the pavement in the middle of the road. She landed on her knees, and it cut her knees open, both knees. Her exact words, as if it was happening just 10 seconds ago, was, "Alan, oh my God, don't leave me. Don't do what everybody else has done." And she was crying. But I continued to walk away, and I came down over the hill, and I walked down through the field, right through here, down over there. I cried for over an hour, and I stuck a 9mm in my mouth and didn't realize she was close by. And I didn't realize that there was webcams down there, wireless webcams, that was capturing it. The person that had the webcams operating was down there trying to find out who was raping little girls down here. That's why the webcams are set up. He captured a moment in my life that I was, how should I say this, at my lowest point. I stuck the gun in my mouth and I pulled the trigger. The webcam captures it. I still have a copy of that webcam. The person who filmed this on the webcam is a very good friend of mine, or should I say, a very, very close associate of mine. His name is Charlie. I'm not going to go into detail beyond that. I was so hurt, even back then when Ashley and I first fell in love, so hurt that I was going to lose her, that my life no longer seemed important. Once we traveled to Roanoke, Virginia, this is several months later, she explained to me that that was the most painful thing that I'd ever done to her. She begged me to never leave her that night, and I pulled away from her because of my own selfish hurts. She and I discussed that issue, and that very night, we discussed that very night many, many different times throughout the past 3 months, at least when we were together. So why am I mentioning this now? Let me be 100% honest with you, and then I'm going to move forward and not talk about this issue anymore. When I mentioned that Ashley saved my life, literally saved my life, it wasn't just because she got me to stop drinking. It's because she got me to think. Think about what it was that I was searching for all of my life, something that she and I talked about. And that something was closeness, acceptance, and love, and a family. I know that what happened to her over the course of her life was painful to her, but it was also painful for many other people. Being young, we're always doing things that we're not really thinking clearly. God knows I've done that so many times. But when I sat down over there at the edge of the water on the rocks with a loaded 9mm in my mouth, and I actually pulled the trigger, I didn't realize, because it was raining that day, that the gun got wet. The bullet did not fire, it misfired. Was it fate that kept me alive? Was it somehow Ashley subconscious? Or was it God up in heaven? I can't answer that. I don't know. What I truly believe is God wanted me to live for His purpose, whatever purpose that He has in mind. I talked to a pastor, Columbia Street Baptist Church, Bangor, Maine, today, after I realized the truth about what's going on with Ashley. And I explained everything in confidence. Pastor-client privilege, it can never be discussed with anyone. And he clearly stated something that brought me to my fucking knees in tears. And I'm going to tell you all what that is. It isn't the system that took Ashley away. God did. And I'm going to try to explain the best I can. For a long time, I've been feeling God pulling at my heart. I'm not a religious person. But I've been feeling Him pulling at my strings, my heart, my fibers, trying to get me to stop and to think and to change and to do for once the right thing, and that's live. God prevented me from killing myself that night, from blowing my brains all over the side of the water, because He wants me to endure this pain that I'm enduring, because ultimately it's going to strengthen me. Some of you may have noticed I've been posting videos of my truck driving jobs. lot of people don't realize somebody my small size can drive 18-wheelers, but I do. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know much about anything else. I've never held a real job. I don't know if you can see it going across the bridge over there. 18-wheelers, driving from state to state, clear across the country. Driving for days, thousands of miles, alone, with only yourself and your thoughts. That's all I've ever known. That's all I've ever done. What does this video really represent? I want to say what it represents. And I need to say this. What it represents is now that I know the truth, and I realize that nobody is hiding Ashley, and that the people involved weren't withholding information because they wanted to. They were withholding information because they were under threats. And because my past has its violent side. I had to stop and grow up today when this individual explained the truth to me. I had to actually grow up and realize that because of the hurt, the pain, the frustration, and the tears that I was feeling, I neglected to feel what everybody else is feeling. In reality, that means I became very selfish. Did I put Ashley first? Even though I tried to, the answer is no, I put myself first. That's not the way to have a relationship. My responsibility was to place Ashley and the baby before myself. And as you all can see by my videos recently, that wasn't the case. Even though I didn't mean any harm, my anger, hurt, and frustration being taken out on other people was completely wrong and uncalled for. And now that I've been made aware of what's really going on, that aspect of my life has to stop. My focus must now be on the future with Ashley and our baby girl. But most importantly, it has to be on today and every day from now on, day by day. Just recently, I did a 30-day sentence at the county jail, Penobscot County Jail, for a crime 25 years ago. I'm going to explain what that crime is, something I've never done in a video, nor on Facebook or anyplace else, except for those that I know in person. 25 years ago, I was charged with unlawful sexual contact. It was my girlfriend. We moved out of New York and came to Maine. We failed to check the law. Our crime was, at the time, we loved each other. But nonetheless, the paperwork got mishanded in the court system. So numbers were left out. But that's not the issue. Ashley accompanied me to the Bangor Police Department at my request, and I asked them to explain everything to her. I told her the very first day we met about my past. I never hid it from her. At first she was apprehensive and disgusted. But once she saw the actual paperwork, once we did this, she saw that my crime was not against a child. The two of us 25 years ago were in fact consensual. So when I refer to people judging me for my past, now you know what it's about. To this very day, I face ridicule and judgment because of my past. The person who relayed the information to me today about the truth concerning Ashley asked me if it was true that I did 30 days, and if he may, what was it for? And I was very honest with him. And at first, I think it stunned him because I don't think he truly wanted to know. I think he really wanted to know if I was going to tell him the truth. I don't hide my past. I don't discuss it that often, but I don't hide it because people have a right to know. Some are saying, well, gee, Al, why did you tell Ashley way back then when you first met? She'd have never known. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that she'd have never known. She has a right to know. Especially now that we have a child on the way. Due date July 1st. Ask yourself this, and I'm only going to ask this once. If your daughter was in a relationship with a guy, and he had that in his past, and a baby was on the way, wouldn't that be something you'd want to know? Wouldn't that throw up a red flag if that person failed to tell you that? When I told you all on my videos that I never lied to Ashley, I meant it. But I'm going to move on from that subject. But if anybody wants the actual paperwork, please message me privately, and I'll have the courthouse send it to you. I have no problem with that. I'll pay for it. My goal now is Ashley Jane Austen and our little baby girl. The future. Our future together. I talked to the individual today who gave me the information. He stated that the one thing that Ashley made clear to him on the phone was that she wanted to leave there, come back to Maine and be with me, her and the baby. That gave me a new sense of hope. Will I go to the place she's at? I want to. I want to so bad that my feet are burning, but I can't. Because until I know for certain what's happening, if I go to where she's at, it's going to cause her a lot of problems, and it's going to cause the baby a lot of problems. That's not my intention, and it never has been. My intention is to be with Ashley, be with our baby, be a family, and be together in love. Not to harm her. I know she would probably want me to go there right now and take her from there. But I also know that in her heart she knows that that's not appropriate nor healthy for that little baby. Ashley, at one point or another you will see this video. And I want to say something about that. I want to come there right now. Right now. And I have the means by just walking up this hill and borrowing the truck. And I could be there in less than 20 hours. But for the sake of our little child, I can't allow myself to, as much as it kills me not to. Because if I did that, that means the baby would be born on the run. It means the baby would live just like you and I have lived. Something that you and I were very adamant about never letting happen. One day, very soon, I have no doubt about that, you will be able to leave where you're at. And I'll be the very first person standing there with my arms open. Let there be no doubt. I will be there. One way or the other, I will be there. And I will hold you, and I will hug you, and I will kiss you, and I will never let go. But I cannot and will not remove you from there, knowing that it means you and the baby will be on the run. I will not do it. I refuse. Because I understand what that would do. That would place you and the baby in danger. It would place the baby's name as an endangered child, and they would be right. Only a monster would take you away from there, knowing that the baby would be hurt or potentially in danger. Only a monster would do that, and I'm not a monster. Yes, I was in my past, you know that. I was an evil, sadistic motherfucker in my past. But I, unlike so many people that I know in my family, grew up. Do not fear, babe. Don't fear. Because it's only a matter of time before you and I will be together. And that we will live the dream that you and I have to be together, to raise our baby together as a family. And one day, as you and I discussed it, yes, we will get married. You and I discussed this many times. That's why the rings were placed on each other's fingers. As you can see, Charlie's getting a little impatient. But that's fine. My life does no longer surround with Charlie. My life is surrounded by Ashley and our baby. And what that means is my life now is surrounded by love. Being down here at the waterfront, it's almost like I can hear your voice still, and smell your perfume, and to see your smile, and to see the sparkle and the glimmer in your eyes. And I miss that. But now that I know you are safe, you may not like it there and you may hate it there, but you're safe. And the baby is safe and healthy. That's all I ever wanted, because I never want the baby to grow up like me. Soon we'll be in each other's arms, I promise. I promise I love you.